So we're gonna fuck up the Mantis boss now. That's the plan anyways. I think we should be able to do this without much trouble. One of the things I didn't realize about Toll is kind of dependent upon his let me do this real quick. I'll make sure I have the right stuff on. Alright, that'll be good. Toll's dependent on his power gauge. So in a lot of cases it makes more sense to wait for him to hit his limit break, whatever you want to call it, and then really do the real damage to him. Ah, you bastard. Alright, let's not take more damage here, Chris. Alright, so this is where we're going to do all of our damage here. Or I thought I was going to do most of my damage. Oh well. Did a lot better last time. Looks like I'm going to die. One more. Dead. Alright, I did do it. Early on I didn't think I had it in me to actually beat him, because he was doing just way too much damage to me, but I was able to somehow squeak that out. So, good for me. Good for us. Alright, let's keep going. The upmost floors of the tower lie just beyond. Dalis and Zeva are likely waiting. I have to find Rhea before those two fiends get their hands on her. You don't give up that easily, do you? Rhea. I spoke with Fina by Leah's sale. It seems you know the whole story now. I do. Then you should understand why we, as goddesses, must do this. Please give me the harmonica the Fina entrusted to you. Oh, no. What an interesting request. So it has more than sentimental value, does it? Some magical properties as well, perhaps. The ancients claimed that the tonal quality of Clara instruments could use to release the full power of our wings, and its echoes could temporarily weaken the demonic essence. So that's it. Alright, I understand your situation then. But I gave you this harmonica to you as a token of my feelings. I never intended for it to be used like that. Sure, you two may be goddesses, But what does that really mean? How are you any different from the rest of us when it counts? I'll never forget how you smiled when I gave you this. I wanted to freeze that moment and see that smile on your face forever. But this harmonica is nothing more than a tool to you now. I prefer to keep it for myself, thank you. It's a bit hypocritical of you to lecture me about my decision, Toll. After all, haven't you been planning to sacrifice yourself this whole time? Have you even given the slightest thought to how I feel? How you have any idea what you've put me through all this time? I have an inkling. And I know I'm running a fool's errand. I know this is pointless and that my methods are unseemly, but that is why I'm here now. I've exposed myself to the small-minded, weak-willed coward that I am. It is time to make amends. It is time to set things right. I don't intend to let any sacrifices be made in the name of bringing order to this chaos. Not one, not even myself. But I can't do this alone. I need your strength. I want the two of us and everyone else to be able to live in peace and tranquility once more. I want the old East back. I know it's a selfish attitude to have, and it's probably unrealistic at this point. But if you and I and all the other knights and sorcerers, everyone of us pulls every last bit of our powers together, I'm certain we can achieve the impossible. So please, just humor me here and lend me your strength. I must admit, I seem to have misjudged your intentions completely. You never cease to amaze me. We always did say I was careless. I figured, why break the mold now? It's been working pretty well for me all these years. Or maybe I finally accepted the fact that you're a goddess and decided I'd try my hand at praying for a miracle. Either way, there's one absolute certainty in my mind. I want my future to be with you. Toll, you truly are one of a kind. What a magnificent farce. Ah. What? Arg. Toll. We can't have you interrupting the fun now, can we? You bastards. What's happened to Hugo? What have you done to him? Isn't it obvious he's accepted demonic powers as compensation for your betrayal? To be frank, I never truly believed you were on our side. Oh, you claimed you were, and you followed orders quite nicely. When push come to shove, you hesitated. It was a dead giveaway. Ah, yes, that's very good. Come, Hugo, you have a playmate now. Oh, he's all bark and no bite. I don't think it's fair to say that Toll is weak. Rather, Hugo is simply that strong. Stronger than I could have possibly hoped, in fact. Seems the poor boy must have been quite the magic prodigy. Certainly a stroke of luck that we were able to turn him so easily. You goddamn bastards. The white and the black are ours now. As long as at long last the final ceremony can begin. My dear goddesses, for your sake I hope you lend us your power willingly. Stop! Please don't do anything rash. It's alright. You don't need to worry about me. Rhea! Ah, how touching. Almost brings a tear to my eye. I would simply finish you off here, but I enjoy our little farce so much I can't bear to cut it short without seeing how it ends. So please continue to crawl up the tower like the insect you are. It should make for some first-rate entertainment. Gah. No! Can't let it end here. Ugh, cough, cough. Move! Get up, damn it! Oh, the mighty have fallen. Hang on. Ah. Feeling a bit more mobile now? Yes. I'm sorry, Shinon. I wish I had time to thank you, but don't worry, I know. You go on ahead. Leia needs you. Ow. I heard the short version of what happened from Lady Fina. She told me of your true intentions, of your newfound determination. Here, take this with you. You might need it. Leia shell. Yay. There's only one catch. If you have a Leia shell, it means you're one of us. Knowing that, will you accept it? Yes, yes, with pleasure. I was hoping you'd say that. I'll catch up with you as soon as we can free Lady Fina. Please take care of yourself. I will. Such recklessness. But then he's quite strongly motivated. I certainly wouldn't want to be the one standing in his way. Alright, back to the Reynos access. Hope Rizko can dissolve that spell in time. Yeah, let's go. Alright, gotta make sure I have the bells equipped again. Damn, you're strong, man. But I am stronger. Suck my wiener. And here's the question. Question of the day. Okay. If you if you find $100 on the ground, what do you do with it? Now, I understand that context is everything. I probably have told this story where when I was working retail, I was cleaning under one of the registers and found a $100 bill. And basically put it in the register, slipped it into the register, I guess I should say, because I was pretty sure that it had fallen out of the register. But there was an equally good chance that it didn't fall out of the register, and it fell out of the customer's pocket. Okay. Now, I'm not really the kind of person that if that had fallen out of the register, that I would, you know, if I didn't know that if I had, look, let's put it this way. I bet that it fell out of the register. Okay. I didn't know one way or the other, whether it had or had not fallen out of the register. However, there's a procedure, it probably standard in all retail, where at the end of the night, the register prints out how much money should be in the register. They put some in, you know, and then there is a certain amount that should be in the register. And if that register is off by $100, that's a problem. Okay? You really don't want the register off by any dollar amount. More than, you know, say, I don't know, a few cents, a dollar. You know. Anywho. So I, obviously, if the register was off $100, that's a big problem for whoever was running that register. Keep finding you little ones in the strangest places. Perhaps our fates are linked. What? Power still came within. Toll's now able to use burst. Thank you. I'm certain this will be extremely helpful in the coming struggles. But getting back to my point, so I found $100 on her register, put it in the till, because the trouble that would cause for not only me, but the people who are running that register, particularly as there is a camera facing directly underneath, you know, directly down on the register. So they would see, you know, me cleaning under the register per se. And if I happen to find money under the register, which I did, and there would be suspicion as to why, what did you put in your pocket, sort of thing. So by doing the right thing, even though I later found out that no, it was dropped by a customer, you know, by doing the right thing, I saved myself a lot of hassle. And, you know, it's the right thing to do, even if it isn't, you know, financially for myself the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do, okay? So, anywho. But let's say that you're not in a situation when you're standing next to a cash register. You know, what's the right thing to do? Now, if you find a big bag of fucking money, you better be taking it straight to the police. Or if you're in a corporate situation, letting your boss know and letting their boss's boss know, you know. But, you know, in an alleyway or something, you find a bag of money, you best be going to the police to turn that shit in. Because that probably doesn't, belong to you. And it obviously doesn't belong to you, but that probably belongs to someone, and they either acquire that in less than honorable means, or someone is making a big bank deposit and is essentially shit their pants. Or is shitting their pants, I guess I should put it. Anywho. But you find $100, and what do? Find it on the street, you probably pocket it. You find it in a store, depends on where it's at. But let's say, you know, you're at work, and you find $100 on the floor. You're at work, you don't work retail per se, so it's somebody's. It belongs to somebody at your workplace. What do? Do you pocket it? Do you let them know? You know, do you give it to your boss? What's the story there? I don't know. Kind of think everyone would, you know, if you're of good morals, you would give the money. I mean, you would at least ask, you know, whose money is this? Now, I can understand where there are other factors that play into this. You know, say you're generally a good person. Generally, you'll do the right thing. But you happen to have a dickhead of a coworker, and you're pretty sure that he or she lost that money. Fuck him, right? You know, I can get that. I can get behind that. But again, I'm making assumptions. You know, this assumption that all people are essentially good. You know, they have morals or are brought up with morals. And at the very worst, they can hopefully be able to place themselves in another person's situation. Now, a lot of people can't do that, or they presume that their evil thoughts are what everybody else is thinking, that, you know, if they're not getting ahead, then, you know, everyone else is trying to take advantage of them, because that's what they would do. They would take advantage of people if they were given free opportunity, you know, because, you know, whatever the reason is. We're gonna make our way through here again. I'm just sort of chewing up the guys that that are here in front of me, just so I can get their experience as we move forward, because I know that when we get closer to the item that I'll need to get to the next boss, we will start to need those extra levels. I've said this before with Unica and Hugo, I'm very confused as to why suddenly at the, you know, the 3/4 mark, the 4/5 mark, whatever, wherever approximately we are at in terms of percentage through game, why they suddenly decide we're going to introduce the most obnoxious status effect in the game, which is this confusion, which inverses my controls. And I mean, it's only on enemies, it's not on boss. I don't run anyone that any of the bosses to do this. But this is like the status effect thing is like something that you would expect in a RPG game to be something that you would run into at the somewhere in the ballpark of the 1/3 to 1/2 mark in the game, and that at some point you would get some sort of item that would specifically prevent it. Not all you know, status effects, but, you know, confusion, you know, being a big one, or like if we're talking Final Fantasy games. One that you want to avoid, depending on where you're at in the game, is some combination of stone or death. Those instant KO type items, they need to be protected against, depending on what area of the game you're in. I mean, obviously there's other status effects that however they're pronounced, Malabros, they do everything. They're just like, okay, here's every status effect short of instant death, and usually petrification. You know, we're gonna give it to you all at once. Here's everything, you know. Poison, confusion, small, slow. Sometimes even slow petrification if that's in a game. So you just, you know, you have items or you pick up, you know, accessories that basically say, well, you know, you may get poisoned and smalled and slowed, but you can prevent yourself from getting, say, dizzied or something like that. Okay, there should only be one more guy here to fight. I mean, obviously this guy, but I mean, in order to open up the treasure chest. I do like how the slimes, or whatever you call these guys, just drop the most SP things ever. You know, just in general, you know, you get like 6 or 7 of them, and they have the ability to, of course, split in half, which increases the number of guys you have, which means it increases the number of SP drops you can get in an encounter. But I don't know. They're never in a really great area to just milk the fuck out of them. Except there, I think there's an upcoming area after I fight the next boss. That there's like an area you can do. Brave armor. This is essentially your silver armor, I believe, in Ys 1. Flare armor of black and silver, only wearable by the strong-willed. Oh, that's pretty freaking sweet. And luckily, because there is a save point after this, we'll be able to upgrade this as well. Of course, we have to kill these guys first. Let's just demon our way up, fix that problem. did it. We did it. So smart and cool. So we're just gonna squeak out another level here. I do want to level up that one thing as soon as I hit 10,000, which shouldn't take too long, I don't think. See, there's 10,000. Well, I'm sorry, 100,000, not 10,000. No, it's just that much more expensive. So just bear with me for a minute. We're gonna just grind out one more level here before we fight the next boss. Make sure we're gonna be extra safe. They do an okay job adjusting to the inverse controls. They're just a pain in the ass is all. They start trying to anticipate when they're going to do the spin attack that causes the confusion. And it just ends up drawing out the battle just that much longer. A little bit more to grind out here. So we are going to run into sort of the next big twist with Toll's campaign once we go fight the next boss. I'll explain that a little bit more once we get there.